The rise of the machine. I think we've heard that somewhere before. Algorithms are ruining creative. A very provocative title from Hannah Thompson, the Media Account Director at Tug. Hannah, the stage is yours.
Perfect. So as was said, I'm Hannah, I'm from Tug. You may have seen my colleague Asher on yesterday. He was talking about how sort of in general technology is ruining everything for advertising. So I'm just here to follow that up. So I'm just going to talk about how algorithms are ruining creative and a couple of things that you can do to try and combat that. But we talk about creative when we refer to digital ads, but there's rarely anything creative about what we're talking about. So everything's designed to just drive an extra 0.01% CTR. And it's not necessarily a creative team's fault. It's not a brand's fault. It's just the way that the big tech players are sorting out their algorithms. So Google, Facebook, and all of those guys, they're essentially looking at metrics like viewability and also the sort of click-through rate and when they're looking at the optimization and their algorithms. But they're not necessarily metrics that have any impact on what someone does after they see an ad. But what can you do about it? So essentially, Ipsos Mori and Lumen Research have done some really great research that shows that people are at most spending a couple of non-consecutive seconds looking at an ad, but then more than half of those ads that are classed as viewable actually aren't even looked at. So it's really, really important to figure out which of your assets are instantly recognizable for your brand or product, and then also looking at which of those that you should be using in your assets online. So it could be an image, it could be colors, it could be logos, and even a font. So some of the examples I put on my slide were some of the supermarkets. So effectively, Waitrose, Tesco, Sainsbury's, they all have the same message in their ads, which is we're doing home delivery during COVID. But you instantly recognize Sainsbury's from the orange text and the font, and Tesco as well with their big blue and red black brand logo, and Waitrose from their images of food. And the second thing you can do to stop the algorithms from ruining everything creatively is when you're looking at a full funnel media plan, especially if you're looking at TV, which might help that drive that more general brand awareness, but your digital ads are more focused on specific products or offers, there needs to be a flow through them. So the example I have on my slide is the M&S Christmas advert from last year. So the Go Jumpers for Christmas with the woman dancing around. And then the banners that they were using to promote off the back of that weren't just about jumpers. They had Go Jumpers for Christmas, but they also had Go Gifting for Christmas as well. So just making sure that when you're actually going down into that more product level that you're focusing on that tagline. So yeah, if you take anything away from this other than my broken slides, it's to figure out what your distinguishable assets are, but then also make sure your creative follows throughout all of your ads in the funnel as well. Cool.
Thank you, Hannah, and well done for carrying on and getting through that without your slides. Not sure what happened, but you did a great job. Don't need slides next time. So you made some really great points. You obviously kind of think about media and creative. I think media and creative used to be together in the world, in agencies like decades ago, and then it got pulled apart. And now even digital and traditional have got pulled apart. What do you think needs to happen to bring media and creative back together to deliver on what you've touched on?
So I think it's like you said, they don't necessarily need to be part of the same team, but there needs to be a lot of collaboration. So whether that's your media team need to be discussing with your creative team about the sorts of formats that they're using and the sort of placement of those ads and the context as well. When the creative team need to be having those conversations with the media buyers about the general look and feel of the ads as well. So you're not creating something that either can't be used or can only be used in one very specific place as well.
Yeah, nice. A few brands yesterday and this morning talked about using automated creative as a partner, where they used artificial intelligence to create multiple assets and create more personalised assets for different environments and audiences. Where do you stand on AI, given your point around algorithms? Do you think it's a benefit or do you think it's a threat?
I think it definitely can be a benefit. I think personalization is still really important, but one of the things that people just have to be mindful of is just making sure that their ad isn't then looking the same as everybody else's ad. That's the problem, especially across social, because obviously there's a very fixed set of formats you can use there as well. So in terms of using AI, like definitely look at personalization, but make sure that your ad is still very noticeably you as well, and that's really important.
Yeah. Like Sainsbury's, like you talked about earlier. So some of the newer brands, like the D2C brands, maybe haven't invested quite as much in that distinctive brand feel. They're heavy users of paid social and channels like that. So what advice would you give to them to make sure that actually you always know it's their brand coming up within a social feed?
Yeah, I think it's also when you're looking at smaller audiences, it's about building your audience as well. So if your audience instantly recognises a brand, and then you can start building it from there once people post more of your products, etc. I know some, especially the makeup brands, get a lot of Instagram support from their audience. So it's, again, about using your full funnel. So if your funnel includes influencers, etc., it's making sure that all that look and feel matches on everything that you're doing.
Great point. And I think a very good point to leave us. So well done again for surviving without your slides, and appreciate you joining us.